Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Angry Chicken. This is our Patron Hangout for June 2015. I'm Garrett Weinzerl. I'm joined by Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Moffat. Welcome back, guys. I feel like we just did this.
Just did the Hangout or just did an episode?
We just did an episode, I feel like I just did that intro, but we have a lack of interesting guests jam-packed into this one.
Wait, we're not going to get the voice of like Rexar and Raynad on today?
They could. Raynad has a voice actor that does his voice?
No,
that explains so much.
No, Raynad is
like, because Raynad would be the equivalent of Amaz.
Try to keep up, Garrett. Try to keep up.
Never mind.
Gotcha.
Okay, move past that one. Although Raynad is a voice actor now. Did you see that Tempo Storm has their own animated series?
Yes.
Have you guys watched the episode?
That no.
I saw the teaser.
I gotta be honest. Nothing sounds less interesting to me.
Well, Gara steals the show. Gara's actually incredibly funny. But they got like Frodan, Raynad, Gara hyped, and the first episode they're all like buying their team house.
Someone is clicking the shit out of something.
Oh yeah, I'm clicking my that's my computer.
Oh, I was like, not me. Hands up.
I'm on the computer's mic, so I only have. If I do stuff, you're gonna hear it. Sorry.
I was just like, is a wire rubbing up against my mic and I'm not noticing it?
No,
but
I'm sorry. It's gonna sound like this, right?
Ah, nice. And you start to shake.
I know.
Your camera starts to shake. That's amazing.
This is the problem. Like, okay, unless I get like a professional rig here in my office, which actually we've talked about doing because they wanted me to be doing like videos for like tutorial videos for the site, and I was like, sure, get me a rig for the office, and I'm on it. But that hasn't happened yet. So
gotcha. Well, anyway, everyone tuning in, feel free to start calling in. FYI, we may have some technical difficulties today, as this is Jocelyn's first time at the helm.
I'm going to try so hard, guys. So hard.
I'm sure it'll be fine, but in case multiple people get added and some people get removed at random points, it's just because we're figuring out Skype.
Okay, how incompetent do you think that I am?
You don't understand. No, it's how incompetent I think Skype is, and if you haven't done this multiple times, stuff gets weird.
I see.
But yeah, Skype is terrible, but not as terrible as my ISP at the moment, so I still can't run the stream. So thank you guys. Thank you, Dills and Jocelyn, for keeping it running.
Hey, man, we're stepping in there for you.
Very, very welcome.
We do what we can.
It seems like we have our first caller.
We do.
I think. I can't see them.
So that means, Jocelyn, you have to do stuff. Okay.
I did do stuff. He's already in the call.
Look,
he's here.
I'm here. I'm here, I swear.
See?
Well, hello, Barry Von Awesome, or if that is your real name.
That's my internet name, and we're on the internet, so that's what I'm going with.
All right.
Amazing.
Count.
Barry, is that the name your internet mother gave you?
Actually, yeah.
The beauty of the internet is you can decide your own handle, and so there's no problem with Barry Von Awesome.
Right.
Go for it.
Wow, I was surprised. Last time I tried to call in, it took me like a half an hour, and this time I got right on, so I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck just happened?
Hey, awesome.
I was super surprised. Oh, okay, so I had a question for you guys. You've talked a lot about the $10 hero portraits, but there's some stuff that no one's covered and that I can't find anywhere on the internet. But since you guys already have them, maybe you could address this for me. If I buy the Medivh one and start using that instead of my Jaina, does the 500 wins to get a gold Jaina thing just get set aside?
No.
No.
It's 500 wins as a class, so as long as you're playing mage and winning, then it counts towards your 500.
And you'll still get the golden border on Medivh,
yes,
which you're currently missing.
And the golden hero power.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that, and nobody had talked about it.
So I guess, we didn't really ever actually cover the main differences, right? Because we did talk about how Jocelyn thought it was total bullshit that you could just get a golden hero, right? We did talk about that.
It kind of is, but anyways.
You haven't softened on that.
No, I have not softened. Even though I now own Illyria, I still have not softened on the fact that I bought a golden hero.
You yourself are bullshit.
Yes, completely.
All right.
And again, I'm going to reiterate, if they're going to charge me $10 for a picture, it better be shiny.
Better be shiny and golden, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, and it's not golden,
but
it's animated.
It's not
Okay.
just the picture, though. You get all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it
yeah.
could
All
just
the
be
other
animated
stuff.
when you hit 500.
All 6 of those emotes. You get all 6 of those emotes.
And the card back.
And then another animation, the card back. So, okay.
Yeah, and
So
well, there are. You
4
get a different hero power animation. You get the boom, 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 boom with all the arrows at the beginning.
Oh, I mean, the entrance is like pro wrestling quality.
Yeah, it's
so
epic.
great. I love it. I
Have
absolutely
you
love
ever
it.
seen The Undertaker enter in pro wrestling? It is not.
It's
You
not a
can't
bunch of
just
arrows.
You can't just drop the Undertaker and compare everything to it. It's just like you can't. That's
No,
not fair.
that is the standard in pro wrestling.
No, that
All
is
in-
the best. That is the pinnacle. That is not the standard. Mankind
trying-
is the standard.
trying to fool you guys who don't know much about wrestling.
I know Undertaker.
Everybody does. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm glad I kicked off such an animated discussion.
Yeah, I know. Look what happened here. Yeah. I'm half a martini deep, so you know.
Yeah, we
it's
love
good
these
gig.
episodes because we get to just rant and have fun, and we don't need to try and move quickly between, talking points.
So, are you calling because you're considering purchasing one of these heroes, or do you already have one?
No, I was considering purchasing one, but I really didn't want to lose my progress on my Jaina, which is like the
Sure.
furthest along to getting my gold hero. And I really like the Medivh. I've always liked Medivh as a character in the lore and stuff. So I was like, that would be kind of cool. But I was like, I don't want to do it if I'm not going to, because I'm like 300 plus wins deep on this thing.
No, yeah, they don't
Fine.
reset you and say like Medivh counts as a 0-win mage and Jaina is your whatever. No, it's not. Doesn't work that way. So, if you want it, get it.
I did have one other thing I wanted to bring up. You guys have on Into the Nexus a wish list thing that you guys do of like just pie in the sky requests for the game. I have one for Hearthstone. I forgot what game we were talking about.
It's okay. I do that all the time on the podcast.
Yeah, okay, so I don't remember exactly which episode, but a couple weeks ago you guys were talking about something about like when you go on a losing streak. I remember I was listening to it at work, and I came up with this idea of much like when you go on a winning streak, you get extra stars. What if when you went on a losing streak of 3 games in a row, you got a coin that let you mulligan twice, but it only lasted for the next game?
I totally thought you were gonna say you
Whoa.
go on like a losing streak and start losing more stars, and I was like, no.
No.
Alone.
Something to help you to like kind of stop the free fall.
Okay, this is awesome. This is an awesome idea, but I think like I like it, but I don't want to be penalized because you've been sucking. You know what I mean? Like so I queue into you.
Yeah.
I think the only way to do this would actually be if you've lost more than a few times in a row. You queue only into other people who've lost a few times in a row, or something like that. And then you could maybe do something with the rules. But if I'm like,
If
Yeah,
you're on a
I'm
winning
more-
streak and someone else is on a losing streak and you run into each other on the ladder, it's not fair for someone to end your win streak because they're
Sure,
on a losing
'cause
streak.
they get an
yeah,
extra
because they
mulligan.
get an extra
Getting-
mulligan. Yeah.
Getting an extra mulligan or getting a double coin is so
double coin is
incredibly
insane.
overpowered. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's a
do-
really, it's a super fun idea. I think it's crazy imbalanced. Just absolutely what the hell imbalanced.
I love the idea of like somehow like moving into some sort of a loser's queue though, where then maybe you have a better chance of
Well, they have
winning.
that,
because- Well, not necessarily. Like
Yeah, they do.
They have
It's
an
the,
MMR rating, right? And
it's
it goes
the
up
Wood
and down.
League, but it's the Wood League for everyone below rank 20. Because like the winning streak thing stops at rank 10 or something like that, right?
Well, no,
Five-
but-
rank 5.
Oh,
yeah,
I don't know. I've
rank
never gotten
is
that
where
high.
stops. At rank 20, before rank 20, you cannot lose stars. So from 25 to 20, it's impossible to lose stars. But like you only queue into other people based on who's queuing at the time and what your MMR is, which is a hidden number we don't know. But I would like to. I think you're on to something where if you're on a losing streak, you queue into other people on losing streaks, thus upping your chance to win the next game, and then that person will continue to play other people on losing streaks, thus upping his chance. You know what I mean? So like,
I'm not seeing how this is really any better or worse than MMR trying to match you with someone and give you a 50-50 win ratio.
It's not definitely better, but it is like it would give you a slightly better chance because you could go against somebody who's rising in MMR while you're going down in MMR, and it's somebody who's MMR kind of does this already. That's definitely true, but I think there is something to this idea.
I just hate it when I mulligan like a 4-cost card and get a 7-cost card. It drives me crazy.
That sucks.
Shouldn't have mulliganed the 4-cost card.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing a lot of Mech Mage, and I'm trying to get my 1s and 2s right off the bat.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, there's your problem.
No,
Play
it's
Mech
great.
Mage.
I got myself to rank 11 over the weekend. That's the highest I've ever been. So
the thing about I think mulliganing a 4-cost card as a Mech Mage is absolutely fine. You should be, because what you really want is you want the sweet Mech Warper opener. That's what you're going for every time as a Mech Mage. So if I play Mech Mage, I essentially mulligan everything that's not Mech Warpers, Annoyotrons. I get rid of everything that's not like 2 and 1 if I'm playing Mech Mage, because you want that sick opener. That's how you win games, right? So you're not doing anything wrong there. But the thing is with mulligans is just a certain percentage of the time you're going to have a bad hand, and that's just how it works.
Happens to me in freaking Magic all the time.
Yeah, but everybody else gets that too. That's the beauty of it, right? It's not just you. Like, you might feel like you're having really bad luck, but the reality is everybody's getting the equal.
Well, that's the joke. Every warrior I play always starts with Fiery War Axe. I play as warrior, don't get Fiery War Axe.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the joke. But it's just chance.
Yeah, exactly. But I do kind of like your idea of like somehow making it so that it's harder to lose a lot in a row. And I don't know if that's exactly the answer, but there's something out there that they could do, Like maybe like they start giving you an MMR like 1,000 points below your current. If it's like a chess MMR or whatever, like they give you like 1,000 points below or something or 100 points below to kind of give you a little bit better of a chance to win if you're on like a sick losing streak. Because it's true, a sick losing streak is incredibly demoralizing, right?
That's why you get up and walk away after like you lose once, and you just get up and go get a drink and come back. And...
step out for a second. Yeah.
I haven't won a game all day. I had a bunch of dailies for Paladin. I'm like, I know my Paladin better than anyone I know. I'm going to take my mid-range deck. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to do some work. And I lost every game I played.
Wow.
That's funny because...
Take a break.
That's exactly what I did.
When I start losing on my Mech Mage, I play your mid-range Paladin deck.
Well, I hope you're not still using the same one I was using a while ago, because it has changed a little bit. Well, not that much, so you're probably fine.
I don't know. It's not too old. I got it off of one of those websites, Hearthhead.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just running pretty much the one that's on Tempo Storm's ranks right now for their meta snapshot. Yeah.
The thing is, though, I've been playing Mech Mage, and I don't go on losing streaks with Mech Mage because no one expects Mech Mage anymore.
That's true.
I just keep ranking up.
Good point.
That is a good point, actually.
But yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, it's tough. I mean, losing streaks really do suck, but I don't. Man, yeah, that's just kind of crazy. I couldn't see that actually going over well.
Well, it's one of those pie in the sky things, and I remember the episode when you guys were talking about it that made me think about it. You were talking about getting the perfect opening hand and just to get off like those perfect combos and I think it was about building decks and about how hard it is to like build around like the perfect thing. You kind of need more of a general kind of thing in your deck, just so you're not just praying for that one thing every time and it's the only win condition.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. What I like about like when people have these like pie in the sky type ideas, though, like you just had, is that it does always kind of invoke some discussion about like, so why would we want something like this? You know what I mean? Like, why would you want something that makes it so you don't go on these big like losing streaks? And like, why is it that like having, and also why is it like having a winning condition like that you can always get to is so important? So I mean, I think it's a valid, like, Garrett, I didn't realize you guys were doing this on ITN, by the way. this
Yeah,
wish list segment.
Yeah, well, we're
Why are we not doing this on? I guess our whole show.
Yeah, the whole show is just that.
It was, yeah, first of all, yeah, our whole show is that, and we had a couple people suggesting heroes that they wanted to see added to Heroes of the Storm, which seemed like a really natural thing to do. And we were
A Neutron hero.
Write us, freaking Jocelyn. And you know what? No. We'll just have you guest on an episode, and you will have control of the wish list segment that week.
Excellent. I literally saw that Hearthstone trailer today, and I was like, oh my god, heroes, please.
Isn't it amazing?
So good.
Isn't it so good? I was like, Katie
We need
came
a
home,
Hearthstone hero.
and I was just like, Katie, come in here, you need to see, because she loves an Oiltron. Like, it's in every single deck.
I
she
feel like
makes.
we're like twins separated at birth, me and Katie.
It is creepy how well you guys get along. And then gang up on me the few times we actually get to hang out together. So yeah, it's fun.
You
It's
deserve
fun.
it.
It's good stuff. No, I'm a nice person. I don't deserve it.
All right, Dick Garrett.
See everyone? She's totally mean to me. She's totally mean to me.
It just happened.
Yeah, it totally did. But Barry, man, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not going to be able to make it to Nerdtacular this year, and we're not going to have another call-in before then. So I need you guys to say hello to Gnomewise when you're there. He'll be the one actually broadcasting the podcasting convention while everyone's at a podcasting convention.
Oh, dude, I always say hello to Gnomewise because everything I do at a live event 100% rests on his shoulders.
Yeah, he doesn't rest for anything. He's just, I mean, he's probably doing something for Alpha Geek Radio right now that I don't even know about behind the scenes. And there's probably
actually he's got a GoFundMe or something going on right now, right? To help him get the camera equipment he needs. So everyone should go check that out.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a quick
find the
thing.
link or something so we can actually.
It's not super.
Today.
It is not super like easy, but it is GoFundMe.com/Y8GH984.
What?
That's
like a robot in a George Lucas movie.
No, because it doesn't. It's not super catchy and have a. It doesn't. I don't think that robot would have a personality for no apparent reason.
I was thinking more like THX 1138, but
IG88.
Yeah.
Oh, Esconde linked it in the chat room because he's awesome.
There you go. Esconde's on it. Yep.
Yeah. No. Gnomewise is the best. Even stuff that he's not supposed to help us with, like last year at Nerdtacular, he let Dills and I squeeze in at his breakfast table because the whole breakfast area was just packed.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. That was like, that was like one of the last days. Yeah.
Yeah. He saw us just like kind of standing there awkwardly. Just get over here, sit down.
Yeah. He's a super cool guy and like super great for the community, and support him all you can.
He helps us so much, and all I ever do is forget to turn off my simulcast and screw things up for him. So
that's right.
So big thanks to Gnomewise.
I've been on his podcast for almost 7 years now, and I played World of Warcraft with him back in the day. But we all stopped playing World of Warcraft now, and we just do the podcast instead.
I kind of
stopped. World of Warcraft is still awesome.
I know. I was the last one to stop. So
yeah, I get it. Like I play very little World of Warcraft compared to what I used to.
Yeah.
I still like when the other night I logged in and I did a bunch of the 6.2 stuff, and it was all really fun, but it doesn't have the hold on me that Heroes does, and don't tell Scott that Heroes does and Hearthstone does right now.
You mean Scott, the guy who is incapable of not talking about Heroes every time there's
essentially turned
a break in the conversation?
We've turned the instance into a cover-all show about Blizzard games now. So he knows, he gets it, but I think Blizzard gets it too. I think they get it. Like this is why I think they're branching off so much into all these other games, because they know that World of Warcraft is a fantastic IP and a fantastic game, but it may not have the we're a little long in the tooth there.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably not going much longer.
They're taking really long amount of time in between content rollouts, which is
no, not necessarily. I mean, they are moving faster as far as expansions are concerned, because we're already kind of like at the final boss stage. But the content is a smaller percentage of the overall world of Warcraft. Do you know what I mean? Like Burning Crusade was like a huge new thing. right? Because all you had was vanilla, and then Wrath was like this huge new thing. Now it kind of feels like, okay, here's like some more quests and some dailies and a new boss and whatever. It starts to feel less and less just based on what's already come before it, I think.
Well, it is raw statistics. I mean, if all you had was vanilla and then you add Burning Crusade, you're basically doubling your content.
No, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And then now you've got double
the
content. You add only a quarter amount of that content with Wrath of the Lich King.
As far as time is concerned, they've actually ramped up the release dates. Like, it's actually going faster now than it was before. The difference here is that it feels like less content because...
Yeah, but we also had a year between the final content patch of Mists of Pandaria and the rollout of Warlords of Draenor, which was just
But
insane.
remember how long it was between the Lich King and Cataclysm?
Oh yeah, that was my first big
That was
fallout with the game.
insanely long. Like, that was... like, we were like a year and a half, like, hanging out with the Lich King.
Yeah.
And
anyways, I'm sure other people are
now we're at the instance. Yeah, welcome to the instance.
Yep.
Have you tried Ashran yet, Dills? Since 6.2?
I did a little bit. Yeah, I did a little bit, but I think you're right, Jocelyn. The 40 thing kind of sucks right now. They have some more things they need to change.
Yeah.
Essentially.
The 40 thing is just, I mean, I hate that there's no pre-mades anymore, but I could maybe get over that, but just the 40 only people in there, like, it's too big. You never run into other people. I never have to PvP.
Yeah, it's too big of a zone, and they what they need to do is, if they're going to do this, like, 40-person only thing, they need to pare down the zone, or they need to tighten up the objectives.
Yeah.
They need to make it so that what you're in there to do is limited to a certain space at a certain time. Because right now, I'm not fighting anybody. I'm just running around.
Exactly.
Doing the same thing I was doing before, but there's nobody here.
Yeah.
You know. It's not in a good place right now.
No,
definitely.
It's really not. And I think I told you last night, I think, I was in there every day for hours and hours and hours. I freaking loved Ashran. That was the only thing I did in WoW. And now I'm just like, I haven't played WoW since 6.2 because I'm just like, I went into Ashran for 20 minutes. I was like, this is shit. And I haven't opened WoW since.
Yeah. What they really need to do is focus on what made Wintergrasp so good. Because I don't know if you guys, like, so Jocelyn, were you even playing when Wintergrasp was a thing?
I didn't start until
you would have
the
been
end
all
of
over
Kata.
that shit. You would have loved Wintergrasp.
At the risk of not quickly moving to another caller.
Wintergrasp. We're here to talk. It's fine. We do.
I'm gonna say something and take a stance. It is a fact that Wintergrasp is quite possibly the best thing they ever did in World of Warcraft.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. I know it sounds like my opinion, but you're all just mistaken. It is actually a fact.
I think the best thing they ever did in World of Warcraft might be Karazhan, just because of like how cool everything was. But
Karazhan and Ulduar are pretty much tied for me as far as like raids. But in terms of PvP,
in terms of PvP, yes, 100% agree with you.
Yeah, and it even had PvE in it. It's like, well, do we have Wintergrasp? No, shit, we can't do this raid boss.
Yeah, and the raid boss dropped relevant loot, and there was relevant achievements that were really cool. But I do think that like some of the raid instances are still like above that in imagination and just how it all kind of actually worked. But, the Wintergrasp was insane, and we need to get back to something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can do it, but...
It was insanely good. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there was the insanely bad. I was once in a 12-hour Alterac Valley.
Well, see, that was...
way back in the day.
That was kind of
about that as if they were legendary, and it was kind of cool, but really, do you want to be in, like, one battleground for 12 hours? Like...
No.
Well...
Logically, no.
But I would also like to not blacklist Alterac Valley as a Horde player.
No, it's very true. I think that Alterac Valley should exist in Heroes of the Storm. I think that they should make an Alterac Valley Heroes of the Storm.
Well,
as far as battlegrounds go, I think World of Warcraft, that is like the penultimate battleground as far as like all the stuff you had to do back in the day. Now it's completely different. Now it's a race to the end. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like I love all the other ones. I love grabbing flags. I love protecting like nodes. But Alterac Valley had kind of all of it, right? And I think Alterac Valley is, to me, like that is the battleground. It's now a completely neutered version of itself, which sucks, but whatever.
Well, Barry, we're gonna let you go and try and bring in another caller.
Good luck.
Thanks for calling in,
Yeah,
man.
Thanks,
you got as a first caller.
Yeah.
Good job.
Just hit all the buttons.
Yeah. All right. Get somebody else in here.
I'm working on
Yeah.
it.
Do I?
That was perfect timing on getting rid of him too.
Oh man, the worst.
Sean, welcome back.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Every time your camera turns on, there's more baby stuff behind you.
Well, just a second ago, there was actually the baby.
I was gonna say, I thought I heard a little coo.
Yeah, they're off in the dining room right now, but this is kind of weird. This is the first time I've actually seen Garrett, like his video, but yeah.
Oh, it's because I'm not hosting it.
Yeah, I realize that, but
Now
it's
I'm the
just-
super secret one.
yeah, I know. So how you guys doing?
We're doing good. Oh, man,
baby!
a flying baby.
Oh my god, you guys match.
Superhero.
You guys are wearing the same shirt. What's up with that?
The audio-only listeners are missing out on so much right now.
Yeah, everyone needs a little bit of cuteness therapy.
Absolutely.
She is our adorable ball of terror,
So,
which is
what?
currently drooling badly. Anyway.
It's okay. I'll be drooling badly in a little bit.
But that's for a completely different reason.
Oh, yeah.
Her reason is she doesn't have teeth.
How do you know I have teeth? These might just be pop-ins.
Oh, good point.
I could
never
take these
mind.
out after the show. You don't know. You don't know.
Oh, sorry, I judged. I apologize.
No, you assumed. You assumed.
Yeah. Well, one
So,
of the two.
what question have you come prepared with this time?
Okay. It's actually a two-part question. Has really no relevance with anything other than being kind of thought-provoking, I hope. Okay, first part. All three of you. What is your favorite hero from Heroes of the Storm? And, like, not just lore-wise, but also kind of kit-wise, just overall, what is your favorite hero from Hero of the Storm?
Tyrande.
Okay.
Wow.
Putting you guys on the spot here.
Yeah,
I think it's Vala. I think I love playing Vala because Vala has the ability to do a lot of really cool things as an assassin, but also like just quick escapes, and like she really feels like what she is in Diablo.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like they just one for one Vala from Diablo right into Heroes. Like to me that's really cool.
Yeah, except you go Caltrops. I don't go Caltrops.
Well, I only go Caltrops because D-Day told me that I should. I didn't used to, but now I have
I
to
think
listen
D-Day
to D-Day.
is cray cray. I don't want to hear no. I don't want no Caltrops on my
I
Vala.
never did. I think they're actually very good, but you have to know how to use them right. There's a lot of ways you can waste them. But yeah.
Yeah. See, the
Jocelyn,
thing is,
don't say Lily.
well, and that's Isaac in the chat room saying, "Don't say Lily."
Say
I
Lily.
wasn't gonna
Say
say
Lily.
Lily. I do like her, but she's
Lily like Lily.
she's terrible in terms of freaking lore and stuff. I like Sylvanas. I think she's probably my favorite.
Yes, Honest is awesome.
Yeah.
F yeah.
Disabling like creep or not creeps, but mercs and towers.
And towers, yeah.
Insane. Yeah.
So good, so good. And I finally am starting to not suck with her. She used to be one of my worst heroes that I played the most.
You know what took a long time to get good at is that escape move of hers.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you have to time that right. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
If you
that
wait
is tricky.
too long, you miss it, and if you do it too early, you don't go very far.
Yeah.
It is equal parts timing and movement because you have to like move in a way where you actually bait your chaser to chase you and not your ghost or your banshees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
no,
that's the real sign of a good player with Sylvanas is sending her wave out one way and running another way, so that way if they chase either one, they're gonna miss it. They're
Yeah.
gonna miss you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's equal parts because I mean you can be really good at the movement of it and then you just miss the timer and you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, I think Sylvanas, and I like Rhaegar.
Rhaegar's great.
Yeah, he's the Healy guy. I haven't played him very much, but the little bit that I did, I really liked it.
I like that he's a healer that's in the fight.
Yes,
like he's throwing
exactly.
down with
Yeah.
everybody. He's turning into wolf form constantly and biting people.
I feel like I'm doing a whole lot more as him than Lily. I did like Lily when I first started, quite a lot. She's still my highest level hero, because I really like
She's
the
a-
support role.
And she's a great intro healer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hero just in general. But I mean, at the moment, she's probably one of the weaker healers.
Yeah.
So Rhaegar's way stronger. Brightwing, Uther, Malfurion.
I want to play Brightwing because she just looks so awesome. But I don't know.
Well, you know what's great too about Brightwing is you don't have to think about the healing. You just stay near people. And
Unless
the
you
healing
go,
happens.
unless you go blink heal, then you have to think about healing.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, yeah,
really
yeah.
scary.
You have to think about it during that ult. That's all. But
Yeah.
it's a very stressful moment because you're constantly clicking around like on everybody. But
Yeah.
for the most part, you're running around just kind of existing
Huh.
in the aura of everybody else. It's kind of nice.
Maybe I will try Brightwing then.
You should.
Okay.
But yeah, Sylvanas. If I had to pick one and could never play anything else, that'd be Sylvanas.
Okay. That makes my second part of the question a little bit more difficult, but I'll go with that anyway. Going off of that, not restricting Hearthstone heroes to just Warcraft. Take those characters, regardless of what class you think they are, just disregard class. What do you think their hero power would be? And it's not restricted to 2 mana.
Take the same heroes we just chose.
Yes.
Make them Hearthstone.
them
heroes.
Them Hearthstone heroes, regardless of class, what do you think their hero power would be? And it's not restricted to 2 mana. Like I said, this
Wow.
really
Not
has no
2 mana.
relevance
Yeah.
to anything.
No, I like this because this is like like they've had the adventure mode. There's been more than 2 mana hero abilities or less than 2 mana. I like that. Okay, interesting.
This was the thought-provoking part that I wanted to
Yeah.
get to.
I think Vala's would probably be. Vala's would be. Sorry, hold on. I need to look up like all of her abilities to make sure I'm not.
I was gonna say for Sylvanas, it would probably still be 2 mana, but then like some sort of like 1 turn this minion can't attack, like some like disabling shot, but in Hearthstone. So basically making it like an Ancient Watcher for a turn, like making an opponent's minion an Ancient Watcher sort of thing.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Hungering Arrow, and I think it would be 3 mana, and it would do 2 damage to one thing, and then 1 damage to something else. Like kind of how it.
Yeah,
trails
how
through
hungry.
other people.
Yeah.
Would be it would just do. Would you direct the first target and then hits a second?
You would
random
choose the
target?
first target, and then the second target would be random. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you'd choose the first target. It would do 2 damage to that, and then 1 damage to something else.
For 3 mana.
For 3 mana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're doing 3 damage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
Garrett?
Tyranda's would have to be Lunar Flare because that's just the move I love so much about Tyrande, and I think it would cost 2 mana. I think it would do 1 damage to a random minion and daze it, which I think should make it swap places if there's multiple minions on the
Ooh.
board.
Oh, move them around.
Move them
on the board.
around.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Take advantage of the minion dancing.
Be like, you running wolves? F you. F your wolves.
Yeah. Move them around.
F
yeah.
wolves in the face.
Blizzard should just take that so that way the whole like minion dancing thing was actually like this huge conspiracy, and they were like testing this whole out.
I would like to see, because it's the fact that all hero powers have to be exactly 2 mana, at some point that could get limiting. It's very possible that at some point they go, yeah, we're going to make the Death Knight character. They have a 3 mana hero ability.
Deal with it.
I don't think that there's
Deal with
a
it.
reason not to do that,
Yeah. I mean, considering the fact that it's Blizzard's game and they can make their own rules.
Sure,
So-
sure. Yeah, no, very good point. But what I'm saying is like that to confine everybody into this, like everybody has to have this 2 mana hero ability. Yes, the first 9 classes did, but moving forward, we don't have to. And they've already kind of proven that with 0 mana hero ability on the Tavern Brawl when we had Nefarian, which was 2 mana then 0 mana.
Mhm.
Sure. Like you can kind of
0 mana
move things
Fire
around.
Blast
You can do
inevitably.
whatever the hell you want. I think it's beautiful. That's a very good question, by the way.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, Like I said, I don't have a lot of questions that are actually relevant to the games, but I just like coming up with stuff that makes people think.
No, that's a fun question. I
think
love
it is
these
relevant to the game, though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
These hangouts are so much fun. I love these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Granted, I'm
because
not the kind of
we're
guy
all
who
idiots. We're just
music at all.
talking out of our buttholes. You guys are actually thinking about things.
Oh, TacFax is gonna tweet that out.
Oh, damn it.
There's one for TacFax.
Backpacks.
Talking
Dills
out
is
of our
talking out of his
buttholes.
butthole.
Like, the last one I saw that they tweeted from me was just like, "Don't listen to anything I say because I'm always wrong and I never stick to my guns."
Yep.
It's like, thanks, TacFax. Thank you so much.
Tagfax is all over it.
Thank you for emblazing that in
Listener.
Twitter permanency.
Yeah.
And really, I just want to come on here and talk about Heroes of the Storm because you guys haven't gotten to the Heroes of the Storm hangout yet.
Oh, I need to get back in that.
Hey, that doesn't have to be about Hearthstone. So
True?
Patreon-ITN.
Yeah.
if you guys don't mind me, I mean, if we're patreon.com/ITN, the Angry Chicken's making enough money.
just kind of a little bit over there. I want to talk twice a week.
Hey, it wasn't me, man. It was Sean. It was Sean. It was all his fault. I'm not double dipping my podcasts here. Okay, I kind of am.
A little bit.
Speaking of
We
which, also I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to really thank you guys a couple months ago that you let me plug my podcast. I actually got a couple emails from listeners who said that they heard about it from this, so I just wanted to thank you guys for that.
Oh, great.
That sounds like a really polite way of asking us to plug it again. So plug your podcast, Sean. Do it.
I think Sean's
Keep it going,
secretly
man.
Canadian.
Keep it going.
Do it.
I got a bit more to it this time, but yeah, podcast is Part-Time Gamers, gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. And we do have a Patreon account now, Patreon / Part-Time Gamers. And I've also started my website, which that's where I host the podcast, as well as I'm going to have my other works on it and just kind of make it my own personal website as well. It's Caffeine Induced Productions. You'll see a bunch of my videos from when I was at Specs Howard, 48-hour film challenges, and all that jazz.
Awesome.
Yeah, working towards becoming a freelance video editor. So
Very cool.
Nice.
Good luck with that, dude.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I will probably be bugging you to do work because I am terrible at video editing.
awesome. Yeah, anything you're willing to give me, I'll do it. Well, almost anything. I'll keep it
I
within
have
reason.
some really.
Can
seedy
you edit
videos.
my personal videos of pleasure?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's not that bad because
Immediately
Dills
after
is.
my mouth.
I mean, Dill's definition of pleasure is like frolicking in a room full of stuffed animals. With
Hey,
his clothes
I'm
on,
talking
so.
about me playing Hearthstone. What the hell are you guys talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's totally fine. I don't know why I don't know why Jocelyn's going, oh my god.
I didn't say anything.
You were doing your
My personal videos of me playing Hearthstone.
You were doing your I'm judging you laugh. That's what you were doing, Jocelyn.
I never
baby.
judge.
You just can't tell because you're Canadian. Sean, man, thank you so much for calling in.
Yep. All right. Take care, guys.
Have a good one. That's a good question. I like that.
That was an awesome two-part question.
Mhm.
Usually a two-part question is like, first part, one question. Second part, totally unrelated question that has nothing to do with the first question.
Yeah, he was just like, by the way, I have now trapped you
Yeah.
into sticking to
Yeah.
something you just said a bit ago.
Yeah, no, that was yeah. He almost got me. I had to like look up Vala like abilities, remember what they are. Even though I played Vala all the way to level 70 and like the Torment 3 in Diablo and
Hey,
a
she's not-
bunch of games.
Sir,
you
she's
know.
not Vala in Diablo. She's the Demon Hunter. She's
Okay.
whatever you wanted to name her. What is actually? Here's a good. I've got a question for you, Dills. I'm calling in, and what is your Demon Hunter named in Diablo?
My Demon Hunter name in Diablo is Demon Dills.
That's really disappointing.
I'm sorry. It's just, what do you expect me to do? I guess I could come up with something really cool, but no, I just said Demon Dills.
Nice, nice. Oh, looks
Dills
like-
is actually a monk. Like, just straight
Just
Dills,
Dills?
because it's always like just Dills is the first one I make. That's the monk.
tell
Outside
me
of that,
that
it's...
you actually add just, so the name is just Dills.
Well, no, yeah, there's always Dills. No, yeah, and then there's just Dills.
And then your paladin could be, or your crusader could be Justice Dills.
Oh,
There you go.
hello. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
go
This
on
is a
and
thing
make it.
now.
All
Uh-huh.
right, making it.
I used to rip up my buddy Ben, who used to do A Move Radio with us all the time, because all of his guys would just be like named like Ben DK, Ben Warrior, like in World of Warcraft. And then one day he made a priest, and it was named Ben Dade, and it was the best thing ever.
It gets tough though after a while to fit dills into everything, right? Because like Paladills is
That
perfect,
works. That's great.
right? Yeah. And when I made my Dills monk in World of Warcraft, it was Pan Dills. It was again perfect, right?
There you go.
But at a certain point, you're like, "What's the druid? What's the druid?" The mage was Dills Dini. That seemed to kind of.
That's
Right?
that's pretty great, man.
Yeah.
I can't judge that one. That one's
But
really
it gets
good.
hard to do after a while, and so sometimes I just run out of patience, and I'm just like, "Whatever, something Dills. Let's go. I need to play the game."
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it. I love it. We having trouble adding another caller?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm wondering if he may not have the most recent version of Skype, maybe? Because I keep adding him and then it just keeps hanging up on him. So,
Well, is there someone else we can try to add?
not so far.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
People are being shy today.
I know.
Being shy. Well, in that meantime, chat room, send questions our way, and we'll do our best to pick some out and answer them.
Yes. Oh, I love chat room questions.
I have another question, and usually I would address this to Dills, and we would rant, and Jocelyn would tune out. But I'm going to ask you, Jocelyn, what kind of music you enjoying right now?
Music
Oh,
questions.
come on. I am involving you as best I can. It is no longer on me if you don't want to be involved.
Nothing really new.
Okay.
I'm
Fair
still
enough.
listening to that album that you sent me like way back in the day.
I don't even
Newfound
remember what
Glory,
you're talking.
the one that you told me to listen to. So good. And then I went back to Good Charlotte.
Just getting into Newfound Glory? Is that what I just heard?
Yeah. So good.
Oh.
Yeah, that was last year, I think.
Yeah, that
Their
was like
new album came
December,
out.
January, yeah.
And you were hating on Dills and I's music talk, and I'm like, all right, here's
Just
a new
listen to
album
this. And
from
I
a
was like-
band that's pretty awesome. You should listen to this. It's
Yeah.
pretty great.
So I listened to that and then I went back to some Good Charlotte because
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh my
You're
god.
really going for it here. Okay.
Wow, Good Charlotte. I haven't heard. I've actually seen them live back before they were like marrying or dating reality TV stars and turned into like a pop dance act.
Yeah, and then so then that led me to my high school nostalgia, so then I started listening to Less Than Jake.
Mm.
And it's just all
So you went
good.
from a good band to a terrible band to a good band. Great. Awesome. Awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Oh man. Good Charlotte. Jeez, you just transported me to high school.
Right? That was the whole thing. There's like 5 or 6 songs that I'm just like, oh, so good.
That is hilarious. Oh, that's so good. I love Less Than Jake. Not just because they live here, so I actually get to see them live because no one else comes to Florida. But yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
It's finally working, and
Hello.
it is the update Skype issue, so I win.
Okay. Well, hello,
Calling
Dan.
on my phone, so I have no idea. I guess. Never
You
done a
sound
Skype
good.
call on my phone. Cool.
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah,
well,
sounds
hello, Daniel, or as your Skype avatar is, hello, Color Wheel from Magic.
Thank you very much.
I have a feeling I know what his question's going to be about.
It was about Magic. I can't help. I haven't played in a while.
Aw.
I can help.
It is maybe a little bit tangentially related.
Okay.
I was curious about what you think about what Tavern Brawl means for Blizzard's design philosophy for Hearthstone going forward. I guess let me explain that a little bit. Like I'm a very hardcore player in everything I do. I play Magic, as you can tell. I go to Grand Prix and do pretty well. When I play Hearthstone, I was an close to infinite arena player for a while, and I felt like for a long time Blizzard is not really catering to things that I specifically or hardcore players in general are interested in. I feel like hardcore players have been asking for a ladder event for a long time. They've been asking for, you always talk on the show about some sort of competitive limited format. And instead we get, Tavern Brawl. That's like cool, but it's not what I'm interested in. I know you guys talked about this in the last couple of weeks. But
Just a little bit. I mean,
Just
I
a
don't.
little
yeah,
bit,
just a
Yeah.
bit. But I mean, I feel like points towards that Blizzard going forward is like doesn't care about me is a little strong, but like, you know, I haven't played ladder in months because I've been waiting for them to revamp it because I think it sucks right now, and
Sure.
it's been months and months and I haven't touched it, so I'm just like, well, I don't really know what Hearthstone just isn't for me right now. And I mean, that's fine, I guess, but it's a little disheartening.
I think, well, it really stems, I think, from the majority of their player base, like by a huge margin, is casual. Like, I mean,
Right,
when you're hitting rank,
yeah, I totally get that.
Well, you can make that argument for everything in life. Like I think, so Major League Baseball should cater to all the people who like to play softball, because that's what the majority of people play when they go out and play.
If Major League Baseball wanted to
games.
cater to me, there'd be like 3 innings.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is okay, I'm totally with you. Where I have gotten the backlash of my comments on not being super excited about Tavern Brawl as being, you don't appreciate what the casual player wants. But you could totally turn that back around and be like, well, you don't appreciate what the hardcore player wants. And we could just do that back and forth all day. We could always talk about how, I play the way I play, it should be the way I like it. You play the way you play, it should be, whatever. We could do that all day. The fact of the matter is that Hearthstone is leaning more towards the casual player, like almost exclusively at this point. And
well,
yes,
with this specific feature, though,
the new player is different. I think the new player is different from the casual player, and I understand the need to give something to the new player. But I also think that if you're going to give something to the casual player, let's go ahead and give something to the hardcore player as well. And I don't think it's that hard to do both of those at the same time.
I mean, so far they have. Any adventure has a lot for both, because you're going to have the PvE aspect of doing the adventure, which a lot of casual players I know love to death. And I enjoy the first time through, but really no interest beyond then. But then you're also getting new cards, which new decks.
But that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting.
Yeah,
and they're not changing the ladder. They're not giving you a better ladder experience.
No, but I mean, but that's my point is so far the things they've added have things in it for both casual and hardcore. Goblins versus Gnomes, while yes, it was only an influx of a bunch of new cards, there were a lot of cards in it that were just straight up fun.
Yes.
And even cards that were used.
But
I would argue that
Goblins
versus Gnomes didn't really do that much for hardcore players. Like it in that it changed the constructed meta a little, but like I was already turned off the constructed meta because of the ladder system. I didn't really do much for me for Arena because you see like, I don't know, 5 or 6 cards from GVG out of your entire draft, maybe more. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've arenaed.
What I would say to that is I would preface everything I'm about to say with I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I want everything you're asking for really bad, way more than I want Brawl, way more than I want an expansion with a bunch of cards that have RNG effects. But that said, it's an incredibly specific small window or small subsect of the player base. And
yeah,
and
I totally understand
I
that.
feel like we need to realize that, and it doesn't matter how badly I really want it and you really want it and Dills really wants it. I'm not surprised.
For the record, I really want it too. Like, I want the hardcore features. I'm just also excited about what they've done with Brawl.
Right, and that's
Jocelyn. You understand that right now we're getting just these casual features and not like the hardcore features. Like so. Yes, it is a small player base that wants that, but that doesn't mean that player base doesn't matter. And I
never said that they didn't matter, and I really think that we're probably going to get something like next that's for the hardcore player.
But when is next? Like, so far we've had, and like you made a good point that GVG, yes, it gave us a whole bunch of cards. You could say that gave the hardcore player a bunch of stuff. But really, what actually lasted from GVG? Like Dr. Boom?
Boom, Shredder.
And I mean, I would actually ask, I would say I don't think it's so much of a matter of when. I think it's a question of if. Like, new cards, okay, sure, that's always going to come. But, like, I don't see that as being really anything for me. Like, I actually seriously am wondering at this point if there's ever going to be anything more that Hearthstone comes out with that I really care about.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that you can just say new cards is automatically something for hardcore players. Like, like I think what hardcore players want is something even more to be able to compete over, which they don't have right now. Like there's only the ladder and tournaments.
Or just a
That's it.
revamping of what's already there that I think is broken.
Yeah, like new card cycling, like Magic has that, and that's for everybody. That's not for hardcore or casual. That's for everybody. Everybody gets the new card vamping. But what
Magic,
Hearthstone doesn't do is give you like a way to play the game differently that's more hardcore or more interesting from a competitive standpoint than it is right now. So
I think one of the things about Magic is that they come out with new cards so frequently. Like I play Magic online. I sit down, I do like 4 or 5 drafts in a week sometimes, and it doesn't get old because I have a new set of cards every 3 months. And Hearthstone hasn't really given me that. Like there's been one expansion last year.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. I want this so bad. I try not to go down this hole a lot on the show because it is not what a lot of people want to hear. We get a lot of hate anytime we compare this game to Magic, which how dare we? The game was clearly had nothing to do with Magic.
But by all means, you talk about Magic all you want. I do it all the time too.
I'm clearly the guy whose avatar in Skype is the color wheel for Magic the Gathering and is sitting here requesting verbatim 1-to-1 mirrors of stuff that's happening in Magic in Hearthstone. I'm not worried about you. But like, believe it or not, listeners, I listen to feedback. I love your constructive feedback. But and I don't know, another like, if we have this discussion a lot, and I'm sure we're having it right now, so a lot of the feedback we're going to get, I feel the flawed response from a lot of people would be, well, just go play Magic. You like Magic so much, just go play it. It's like, well, no, what I'm really asking for is Hearthstone to be a little more nuanced and have so much stuff to do in it that I don't want to go play Magic. That I just want to spend more time in Hearthstone and have a larger variety of things to enjoy from a competitive aspect. And at the moment, I really only have constructed Hearthstone with the one ladder system that exists, and that is it.
To that point, I would say I do. I play Magic way more than I play Hearthstone nowadays, and I wish that were not the case because Hearthstone is so much cheaper. But yeah.
And I do agree with I gotta agree with chat room. Dills, I really think you're underselling GVG effect on the meta and on the pros.
No, I wasn't like, I made one statement. Dr. Boom is the thing that stuck.
It's not the only thing that stuck, though.
No, sure, there's other stuff, but there's not that much that stuck. It didn't drastically change the game the way that amount of cards should have done.
Tempo Mage exists because of Goblins versus Gnomes. Paladin is actually a functional deck because
Tempo Mage is really because of Flame Waker. That's really the thing that changed.
Oh, it's also because of Mad Scientist and the new secrets they got and Unstable Portal.
Well, Mad Scientist is not GPG.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. My mistake.
But that's fine. Like, look, I see Faramir here and is like, oh, Dills is an idiot. I see that, yeah. Good for you, buddy. But, like, I'm just saying, an entire expansion could have done more than it did. And it didn't do as much. And we've talked about this on the show, that the actual, like, Nax and Blackrock Deaths actually had more, like, impact per card than GVG really did. And GVG was a super fun expansion. But it didn't really do like what 200 cards should really have done, right? Like 200 cards should just like revolutionize the game, make it totally different, make all this stuff crazy. But that's not quite what happened there. So
I don't know if it really should though, because I'm just thinking about the video that Ben Bro did in response to Crip, and like he said, he was talking about how you need bad cards and everything else. So
yes,
it feels a whole lot like it was pretty close to the same ratio with all the mechs that we've got still being used. Like we've got Mech Mage still around, Mech Shaman, like there are powerful mechs. And I feel like if like 100 of the 200 cards were super awesome, that would have been like, I don't know if that would have kind of fit with their philosophy, like if you take your ratios of cards of like good to mediocre to bad in an adventure and then expand that over 200, then you've got a whole lot smaller of a amount of good cards. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's probably like ratio wise actually pretty similar to Adventures. It just feels like Adventures had so much more of an impact because they were so concentrated.
Yeah, no,
I'd be interesting to see like the numbers of cards that are still being played from GVG like consistently, because yeah, sure, this is all just like, I'm just going off of experience, but it doesn't feel like that many compared to, I could count at least like 6 cards I think from Nax, and obviously like Blackrock Mountain is the newest one, so it's tougher because some of those cards haven't quite cycled out yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it really does feel to me like we're still playing like most of the vanilla set, honestly, if we're going to talk about like where most of the quality cards are.
It was also still the largest single set of cards, so it makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah,
statistically. Absolutely. I mean, we're still in the infancy of this game with how fast the iteration cycle has been. That's part of what Daniel is saying, is he'd like to see a faster rollout of new cards, and I would too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also just a better array of, like, give us something for the casual players and give us something for the hardcore players at the same time. Which I think, if you look at like World of Warcraft, they did that really well with World of Warcraft for a long time. They were like, here's super competitive PvP and really high-end PvE content, and then here's also a really fun thing to do if you just want to collect mounts, and like that's
Pet battles.
Pet battles.
That's
really
kind of how
example,
World of Warcraft
actually.
used.
Yeah.
Like that's how it always was. It was never like we focused on this player base. It was always we focused on all the players. And hardcore players drive the casual players because that's who people kind of follow. And it's not necessarily that everyone should be hardcore, but that there should be hardcore things to do in the game.
But that's why I feel like, I mean, you're comparing it to World of Warcraft, and Warcraft has such a huge development team working on it. Like, Team 5 is still small, and I feel like they're probably working on one feature at a time as a limitation of their team size.
That is kind of the vibe I get as well, because if you guys remember how many episodes where every episode we're like, when are we getting spectator mode? Come on, Team 5, when's that spectator mode coming? When's it coming? And every time we would hear from them, their response would be very much the same. They're just, guys, we didn't think the game was going to be as big as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that is still the case, because we're not hearing anything from them that is along those lines. But I'm sure they're still going through growing pains.
Yeah,
I bet it is.
I
Because this
really
game
think
is
they are.
crazy huge. Because it's crazy awesome. And I mean, how big is the team now? Maybe over 50 people? That's not a huge team.
Mm-hmm. So
It's still a small team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I do. So I think that we're probably going to see some sort, I don't know which feature it's going to be that the hardcore players want, whether it's a ladder revamp. But even then, like, if it's a ladder revamp, like that's huge. That's huge. And we already got a ladder revamp once, right? So
I mean,
But we had a ladder.
I mean,
We had a ladder
in
revamp.
closed
really.
beta still, right?
yeah.
if you're talking closed beta, I don't think that counts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider the original Grandmaster thing at all a ladder.
Yeah,
It was
that was
just
barely
whatever we-
functional.
No, I know,
Good
but it
dude.
was still the way to play constructive competitively, and then they changed it. And so, like, I think that we're going to see something, whether that's some way to either play in tournaments or run tournaments, or if that's a ladder revamp. Like, I think that's the next thing that we're going to see, especially given the hardcore player response to Tavern Brawl. So I don't think we're going to see another really, really casual thing be put into Hearthstone before we see something for the hardcore players. I think that's where our next thing is coming. I don't think that we're, for a very long time, ever going to see two things come out at the same time, something for casual players and something for hardcore players. I just don't think that they have the resources right now. Not money, just team size wise.
Do you think that having to create a new set of Tavern Brawl rules every week will take away from their development time?
I don't think
No.
so,
No, I don't think so.
because I think because of the fact that it's totally separated, they don't have to worry so much.
Yeah, it
about-
doesn't have to be balanced. It doesn't.
Yeah,
like,
they don't have to sit
yeah.
there and balance 100%. So they can
I
just
mean, they
kind
still
of
have to make all
go
the
with it
assets
and
for it.
let
Like,
it.
they had to make all the assets for, Neff versus Rag. Like,
Mhm.
They
like,
did,
It was already,
yeah,
it was
no,
already
no,
made.
actually-
It was already no. It was already made. It was sitting there from the adventure that was already out.
Yeah.
All of the
Were all
cards
those
that are in
cards-
those. Yes.
Oh, okay. I haven't even played through the whole thing yet.
No, but they, like, there's definitely, like, there's work that has to be done for sure on that end to do that, but that's not like those people aren't taking away from card designing and all the other things that the other people have to do. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I see that in every game where people complain about a feature that they don't personally want when they want something else. It's just like, well, this is just taking away from this other thing that everyone wants. And there's a lot of layers to that. It's like, A, does everyone really want it, or is it just a small subsect of the community? And B, I think it's a really naive way to look at game development. It's not the way game studios work. You have small teams working on individual assets. It's not like, everyone stop what you're doing. We got to put out the freaking brawl this week.
We have to make a brawl.
I really wanted to get out that tournament mode, but sorry, we need all 50 people to work. That's not how it works. There's no way that's how it works.
Sure.
And damn it, I wish people from Blizzard could talk like I just talked. They all have to.
I think that's exactly what Brent Bread does every time they're working on something new. But yeah.
Except he goes, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, exactly. They laugh between every single thing.
Yeah,
but I think you bring up a valid point, and I think that you're a customer that needs to be catered to as well as the casual customer. And I really don't like the argument that a casual, like I've gotten this argument now thrown at me because apparently I'm now the anti-casual guy on the show. But like the argument that everyone plays like me, Dills, not like you. I don't think anybody can say that everybody plays like me. There's not a single person who can say that, whether you're casual or hardcore. You can't say everyone plays like me. Everyone plays the game however they play the game. And that's different from, like, there's shades of gray amongst the entire, spectrum from casual to hardcore. There's super hardcore, there's barely hardcore, there's kind of hardcore, there's wannabe hardcore, there's whatever, there's so many different versions of all of these different ways to play that you can't say that everyone plays like me, but Blizzard should be catering to as wide that spectrum as they can. That really should be where they're going to focus, is not to just say, well, 90% of the player base is casual and only 10% is playing hardcore, even getting close to legend. You should really just be focusing on, let's give something to everybody as often as we can that's feasible. And I understand that you have to make a value judgment, but that doesn't mean that the hardcore player is not valuable at all. That just can't mean that. Like you're gonna end up losing out in the end if you do that.
Well, I mean, they haven't. It's not like Team 5 has come out and said that. This is everyone else's retorts to the discussions that we've had on the show. These are people putting words in Blizzard's mouth, more or less. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's. There's no way that they're sitting there being like, no, let's just ignore an entire subsect of the community. I'm sure they're trying to make the best game that they can with the assets available.
No, I don't think that they are ignoring them. I just think that people think that maybe they should. And that's been some of the argument that I've received from people. Is like,
yeah, and I completely disagree with those people. Sorry, people, you're crazy. But
like,
yeah,
Dills,
I mean,
give everything to the casual player. Screw how you play. Like that's not going to work. The game has to have hardcore at some point.
That is just as insane of a statement as what they think you are saying.
Yeah.
Which is not. I feel like a lot of stuff gets kind of lost in translation here, but
sure.
And I don't know, because to me, I think they're doing a bang up job. My response, to boil it all down, my response was just, this is cool. It's just so far off from what I was expecting and what I wanted. Whatever. It is still free content that was added without anyone asking, without anyone expecting it. It is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And like I said, and I said on the last show, I'm softening my stance on Brawl. I'm having a good time doing it. I'm just not spending very much time doing it.
Yeah.
But the time I am spending is fine. It's fun. It's good. Whatever. Then I move on, and then but at some point I have noticed myself like playing Hearthstone and being like, do I want to queue again? Nah, I think I'm done. And there was a time when I was like, I must queue again.
Q. Yeah.
That might be just dissipating just a little bit.
QQ. Yeah. QQ is what we're doing right now. We're QQ. More pew pew, less QQ.
But it's dude, thanks for the question, man. That's I think we haven't heard very much on this show from people who listen to the show who consider themselves hardcore players, whether they are or not. But the people who like put themselves in that bucket, and it's good to hear from players
Sure.
like you.
Well, it matches up with what I assume the kind of in-game demographic is. I'm assuming there's a much larger facet of folks that consider themselves casual, and a smaller subsect that consider themselves hardcore. So makes sense. But Daniel, thank you so much for calling in, and of course, thank you for supporting
Thank
the
you
show.
so much for taking my call. Long live Miracle Rogue.
Died of fire.
Shots fired.
I don't.
I miss
Nope.
Miracle Rogue.
I take back my thanks. Go to hell, Daniel. Go to hell. I never want to see another Miracle Rogue for as long as I live. And that's time, folks. That's a full show.
It is.
There have been some very thought-provoking statements, questions, and topics brought up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks again to our patrons, because without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this extra episode once a month. So thank you so much for supporting the show. We really do appreciate it. Find me on Twitter at Garrett Art. Find Willie Dills at Willie Dills. Find Jocelyn at GIS Gamer. We're not going to do a long outro because it's a fun extra episode. Thanks for listening, everyone. Job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!